Yep.
Yeah. So, guys, did you know, and I have some statistics here, did you know that 1 in 5 women in the United States experienced a completed or attempted rape during their lifetime? Like, if you think about 5 women sitting in a room, statistics says that 1 out of them have experienced rape. Did y'all know that?
Wow, that's a big number. One is a
It
big number.
is.
Yeah.
It is. That's like the full act, like rape. We ain't talking about like sexual harassment or, you know, whatever. That's rape itself. That's really sad.
So what about sexual harassment though? Like,
oh, so the number for that though, nationwide, 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and assault in some time in their life. 81% of women and 43% of men, which I think even the number for men, that's to me, that's a lot because some men don't report that stuff. I think it's probably more than that because some men don't report. Right. You know.
That's crazy.
We be talking, what's the word? Everything you never heard. We be talking, talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
But 81% though?
Wow. Hey, do any of you guys have any stories about I told you I got this one story. This girl trying to get my booty while and then we were quiet and I was like, girl, stop. I was having a dream because I like this boy in middle school. I want to say his name so bad, but anyway, I had a crush on this dude in middle school. And I was dreaming about him. I thought he was rubbing on my booty.
Come to find out.
I found out. It was over.
That dream was vivid, huh?
Girl, vivid. But look, I want to tell y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. My bad, we almost forgot. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click that notification bell up there at the top or down there below, wherever it's located on your screen.
It's up top.
Click it so you'll know when we posting. You want to get that up? We be talking on, okay? That's all I wanted to tell y'all. I love y'all. Damn.
So Sheikah was asking, do we have any experiences with sexual assault, harassment, rape, etc.? What about you, Kim?
Sure. So
yeah,
I didn't have no when I remember when I first came in the military, like I said, I was young, right out of my mama's house. And I remember my first duty day. And if anybody knows duty on the ship, you got to stay overnight. So in my department that I was in, engineering, we had like 4 people on duty, but everybody do their own thing on duty. So you're not sitting there together all day. You're doing your own thing. You go eat, you do your job, you do your wash or whatever. And I'm still kind of trying to get familiar with the ship. And I was going to one of our spaces to use the computer, I think it was, and it was a guy already in there. I'm not sure if he was part of our shop. I don't think he was, but a lot of the time people come in our shops to use a computer or whatever. You know, if they got a homeboy or somebody that they know, hey, I'm gonna go in your shop and use your stuff. So it's probably, I don't think it was somebody in my shop. They were on the ship. So I went in to thinking that nobody was in there, and he was in there. And I wish I could remember his name. I would put that name. Nah, but I went when I went into the office, he was in there, and I was like, oh, you know, I'll come back, you know. And he was like, no, you good. I'm about to get off or whatever. So I wait around. He shut the door in there while I was in there, and then I think he solicited like, hey, you know, you might as well let me, you know, get there or whatever. I'm like,
oh wow.
I
don't know you know, it was just
you.
It was, that's what I'm saying. It was very, very, what you said?
I said you were trying to get to know the ship, but he was trying.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my space and, you know, where I'm supposed to be. What can I, you know, do? And he was like, you know, you might as well let me do that. I was like, no, I don't need to get down like that. I don't know you, whatever. So I was gonna try to leave, and he blocked the door. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to fight this dude to get out, you know. And me being who I am, I probably would have fought him to the death. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody think, you know, I'm quiet. I'm just, you're not about to take nothing. That's what you're not about to do.
Everybody don't think you quiet.
Well, you know. Everybody don't think I'm quiet, but for those that do, now notice you're not gonna take nothing, and I'm not gonna give it up willingly. You know, it was scary. It was very scary. I was 18 at this point, 18, fresh out of my mama's house. You know, like I said, live in a strict home. So my mindset was, you just gonna have to fight this dude, and he was kind of shorter than me, so I already thought in my head, oh, I could take you. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to take this dude, because if not, he's gonna take me. You know what I'm saying? Literally, you know. So
wow.
He kind of like stood up against the door, like, oh nah, you about to give it up. And I'm looking like, nah, not tonight, you know. And so my heart was racing, my mind was racing, like I need to find something to pick up. And it was a small room, you know. And of course, I didn't know the ship, I didn't know the areas like that. So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what can I pick up, you know, to hit this dude. And I know I probably would have to hit him hard, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion in my mind was he gonna take it that night. I was just determined that you wouldn't get it, right? And but for a teenager, or you know, somebody just fresh out of house, this is the most devastating thing, you know, you think you can go through, that you could go through. So he like moved towards me, and I kind of, you know, like shoved him a little bit, and I'm trying to shove him away from the door so I could get out the door. And when I got to the door, he grabbed my arm or whatever, and I'm like, no, you know. So I kind of pushed him back a little bit with a little force. You know, I'm a big girl. I'm not like no tiny girl. I'm tall, and I'm a little, you know, heavier. So, like I said, he was shorter, and I already thought that I could take him. But him being a man, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been as easy as I thought, right? So I was like, no, he's not about to get this. And when I say it was dark, like, you know, if anybody have ever been on a ship, when it's dark, right? So the office space only had the light, and then when you step out of the office, you're still in the office, but you're in an office within the office. So when I stepped out, it was pitch black. So I'm out the door, but I'm not out of the office. And it was just me and him in there. So he could have easily just come out and did what he had to do. So I had pushed him or whatever. And then I was like, you know, I don't get down like that. I'm not that type of person, because a lot of times the guys on the ship, and I'm just speaking for ship life now, not everybody, but a lot of times the guys feel like, oh, well, she out here doing her own thing. All I got to do is ask for it. She going to give it up, or I can take who she going to tell, you know. That's a lot of times what a lot of young women in the military experience. Somebody putting in their head that, oh, I'm going to get it, or you're not going to fight me back. Who you going to tell, you know, all that type of stuff. But I just encourage you guys, fight, you know, fight and tell the world about it. I didn't really say anything. I told my shop about it. And from then on, they would have people on duty with you to kind of like be a partner or whatever. So they made it so you felt safe to stay, right? And they were like, you need to, if you want to file a complaint, you can file a complaint. You know, they were backing me. I said, no, because I'm going to see him again. Like, he ain't going to touch me no more. You know, my mindset was, you won't try it again because I let you know where I stood.
He won't try it again with you, but he might try it again with somebody else. Yeah, that's just how people like that are.
Right. It don't go like that all the time. But I'm just saying, for me, if I feel like if I can get out of it and I have fought my way through it, ain't no point in me trying to go and just ruin you further, unless you have really just shown me a side of you that you need to be put away. You know, I think he was horny. I think he was immature. I think he was just, you know, like a lot of the young guys are, who don't understand the value of somebody else's space.
You think he was horny? You think he was horny?
I'm pretty sure he was. You know, I'm pretty sure he was.
I know somebody else. I know somebody else is horny right now.
So what now?
I said, I know
what I think you said.
I know somebody else is real horny right now.
Who, girl?
Don't even.
Oh, I mean.
But anyway, let me tell y'all about my experience. You know, when it comes to sexual assault, rape, and sexual harassment, I have a long list of experiences that I've experienced since I was a little girl.
No.
And I'm talking about the age of like 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? And it's just really, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just
pathetic.
Something I think affected everything about me, my personality. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. And those numbers, the statistics that I read in the US, that's crazy. And I think it's so much more than that in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, where, you know, things like this happen and it goes unpunished and nobody talks about it. It kind of, you know, you sweep it under the rug and it's the big family secret. That's what it's, you know, a lot of the cases, or in the Caribbean, that's what it was like. But, you know, you think about rape and a lot of people think about a stranger, or sexual assault, or, you know, whatever you think about a stranger. It's the all of the times that I've been sexually assaulted or molested or raped or whatever, it had never been a stranger. It was always somebody that I knew, somebody that I trusted, somebody that was supposed to protect me. It was somebody that, you know, you wouldn't think would do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little girl at 5 years old, waking up with no underwear on and already knowing what had happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And it used to happen so frequently that I had become numb at like 7 years old. I was numb to it. Like, yeah, it happened again, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad. I know it was a big thing in my family. I'm not going to say names or anything, not to try to, you know, cause any ruckus or whatever in my family, but we all know, it's no secret. People that's not in my family knows, it's no secret anymore. And I know one of the big things too that people will try to do is to muzzle you. Nobody wants you to talk about your experience. Everybody wants you to shut up. Everybody wants you to forget about it and get over it. But what they don't understand is how you have to deal with that thing internally. You know, when you're by yourself and you remember or you think about it, or when you're in a relationship and that thing that happened to you years ago affects your relationship.
Why family members don't like to accept when a child comes to them and tell them that they're being touched, or, you know, why do they take it lightly? You know,
because they're trying to, in my experience, it was a matter of protecting the person that was preying on the victim. It was the matter of, let's
I feel like I don't care who it is. If my child, as a mother, come to me and say, or if I pick up or something happens, if I ask and they say, I'm going to take that serious. Yeah. And you get repercussions behind that. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Until they have proven me wrong, I'm always going to take my child's word. I'm always going to take my child's
always.
Word. Yes. You know what? And I've been telling my daughter this and my son since they were little in diapers. And now my daughter, of course, she understands. And my son, he's 7, he understands. But I've always told them, this is your private part. Nobody is to touch you here. And if we go to the doctor and the doctor wants to see your private part, I will always be present, or your father will always be present. Nobody's to touch you here. And, you know, it's yours. And if somebody comes to you and somebody says something to you, like, let me do this or let me touch you, but don't tell nobody, that's when you need to come to me. Because let me tell you, I feel like I was manipulated to the point where I felt like if I said something to anybody, that people would get hurt. Because that's what he was telling me. I was 5, 6, 7.
It started at 5?
It started at a very young, tender age. And I realized that a lot of my childhood I don't remember. And I think it was just my brain's way of protecting me from the trauma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Block it out. Yeah. You know, a lot of times too, I think that families, they don't want you to talk about, you know, the past or whatever, because they were done that way. It's a vicious cycle. A lot of times in families that go from generation to generation to generation. It's a generational curse, actually. You know?
Absolutely.
To identify what's going on here is not the individuals.
Right.
It's another spirit using each individual. of course, the enemy. It's Satan. It's all a part of his plan to destroy, to steal, kill, and destroy our lives. So what he do? He used people. People are being used. And you know,
and those closest to you. That's the thing she was saying about it being real family, you know.
Yeah, sometimes people don't even know. They have no idea that they're being used by the enemy to do certain things. They just thinking that those are their thoughts, or that's their idea to do that.
Yeah.
They have no idea. And so it's a vicious cycle, because that person that is being used is, if you think about it from this perspective, it's unfair because it wasn't them. It was solely the enemy. Of course, they had a part to play. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all. It was them. I heard y'all out there. It was them all the way. Whether he was using that, yeah, it was. But at the same time, it was ultimately the goal of the enemy to destroy your life, and he would use anybody who allowed it.
Yeah.
Well, Tamara, you were saying something about it takes a toll in your relationship. What kind of issues that you have in your relationship you think that derive from what you went through in your childhood?
Number one, trust. Having a hard time trusting somebody that's supposed to, look after you or take care of you, or, it really, really does take a toll on that. And especially when you haven't dealt with it. Like, I never really sat down with a therapist and talked about what I went through in my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. No. Don't you cry, Tamara.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to cry. Oh my God.
All right, girl, let it out. Dude, it is okay. We are here for this.
You need to cry. You need to bottling and stuff up inside. Thank you all. Look, the Lord gave you them sit-ups for a reason, okay?
Come on, girl.
Let it out, boo. We right here. You want us to cry with you?
All right.
Come on, Kim. Come on.
You still look good, girl.
Kim, you want to cry?
Goodness.
Look,
Come on. Keep on. We'll bring it out.
Hey, I'm gonna be right there with you.
I didn't think I was gonna cry because
when people cry, why people hold their head back like you just did, or they say,
because you don't want your makeup. Your makeup.
Late.
Oh,
but I didn't think I was gonna cry because
it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
These things happened so long ago, and I have forgiven each person that has done, something like that to me. And I know for sure I did. But it's like, that goes back to where you just never know how it'll affect your life, because no matter how long it's been, look, I'm almost 40 years old.
Okay, but
it's like 35 years ago.
I want you to talk about this, because not only did this start at 5, right? It happened throughout your life.
Yeah.
So, and it was by people who you would never think that was supposed to be doing this. Yeah. But what I want you to talk about after you talk about this is look at you. You're not mentally ill. You don't have mental health issues. You know what I mean? And it's a reason for that. You're able to forgive each and every last one of those people that did that.
Yeah.
People want to know how.
People have been molested and abused by family members, by non-family members, by teachers, anybody. And they don't know how to be at a place where you are and say, you know what, I've forgiven each and every last one of those people that have touched me. And you're not depressed. You're not suffering from mental issues or different things because of that. It could have been because every part of your life is affected by that. The way you raise your children, the way you treat people, who you let in, how you talk. And you are very you love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You could be very hardcore and rude and mean because of how things, because people, that's the way they are. Oh, real quick. If you're going to come on here and tell us we don't know what we're talking about, you can keep it. Because let me explain something to you. This is our.
I knew it was coming.
And the title of the show is We Be Talking. It didn't say we know what we're talking about. It said we be talking.
We are not
talking about.
Not channel.
Anyway, even if we don't know what we're talking about, we know what we're talking about for us.
Right. We are not. We never said that we were a panel of experts.
If you don't like the show, don't watch it.
Right.
So let me chime in real quick before she could
And here's the thing, real quick. Let me
wait
get this out my chest real quick. You don't like the show I'm watching, and I'm not talking to the people who disagree with what we're saying, because we don't mind to disagree with healthy constructive criticism, because we don't know everything. We're just talking.
Right.
And most of the time we don't research everything. The show is just us talking.
We just talking. It's just.
So here's the thing, it ain't fact checking. You can fact check us and help us, and we be like, oh, that's greatly appreciated. But what you're not going to do is come out here and demean and degrade us and tell us we're not going to be successful because you're not on the show. You will never be on the show.
Ever.
Never.
Oh, so I thought we weren't going to talk about it, but since we are,
I couldn't help it. I just want, because I feel like they're going to have another comment, and believe you me, Sheikah, is going to remove your comments. You know who you are.
Okay, so
watching us rude behind, and we don't believe in the same God. So that is a non-conversation. Your God and my God are totally different. So don't tell me who I know. Whew.
I just want to say, if you don't like our page, kindly unfollow and move to another podcast, move to another YouTube channel.
Moving.
That's
Keep
the
it moving.
easiest thing to do, because the enemy likes confusion. The enemy likes arguments and stuff like that. We ain't come here for all of that, right? We came here to help out the next person in our experiences that we have experienced. So if you don't like it, and as y'all know, to our people that listen and watch all the time, we just had someone just come on and just degrade, just talk bad about what we know, what we don't know, or if we know and if we don't know what we're talking about. When this simply is, like you said, we be talking. Nobody can tell us what to talk about. Nobody can tell us, anything like that. You could just like or not, or follow or not. So don't be getting my girls razzled and dazzled and all out of their element because you got a lot of stuff to say. Just individually talk to us, and we leave it at that. We'll talk to you. No big deal. So anyway, back to you, Tamara.
So you were asking how this affected relationships and stuff like that. Yeah. The fact that I went through that type of abuse as a child, I grew up with extremely low self-esteem. If you had told me at 10 years old that I was beautiful, I'd be looking at you sideways like, stop lying to me. I never believed it. But I think that helped me in some way. Listen to how.
How? No.
My self-esteem was so low, I couldn't be a hoe.
Mm.
I wanted to, but I couldn't be a hoe. My self-esteem was so low. I didn't want to. But a lot of people that go through, Sheikah's like, what? A lot of people that go through sexual abuse or whatever, because they have that sexual, we talked about awakening that thing in you too early. You have that urge to always want to have sex or whatever. Sex was always on my mind as a young girl. You know what I'm saying? Always wanted to experience it, always wanted to do it or whatever. But my self-esteem was so low. I would never go out there and indulge or, whatever. Now, when I got older, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that I was cute.
Girl, it's beautiful.
Yes.
That thing was on and popping. Not just playing.
It was on and popping. But but seriously, and this is how it affects you. Like I said, it started happening to me in a very, very young age. And here I am, 39 years old, and talk about it, and it still breaks me down sometimes. So when people say, get over it, or stop talking about it, happened so long ago or whatever, and until you walk a day in my shoe, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me to get over it. If you don't want to hear me talk about it, then don't listen to it. Please don't do that. You don't know what you do to somebody that's been victimized. And here you come telling them, oh, you the one that wasn't victimized, telling them it's time for you to get over it. You don't know what it does to a person. You really don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, my life is defined by that, but I do have moments where I sit there and I think about it, and I have to literally talk to myself to get out of the funk, because I could sit there and be depressed, but I have to talk to myself and say, no, that's not what's going to happen today. So if you can't help somebody, if you don't have nothing nice to say to somebody that's been through that, just don't say nothing to them at all. Go your way, because you don't know what they are going through. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to start crying. I felt it coming. I was trying to like.
It's genuine though, so you might as well use it.
And it's okay. You can cry.
Yeah. You know what? Comment down below, y'all. What do you think about women that has gone through this? Do you think that it's that they should get over it after a while or stop talking about it or whatever? Because I know there's some little girl right now, this very second that we're sitting here talking, there's some little girl right now that's being molested, being raped, being harassed, and not even just a little girl, woman, period, or a person.
Boy, too.
There's somebody right now that's going through it and feel like they don't have a voice and feel like they can't talk because of fear or whatever reason why they feel like they can't talk. And I know for me, talking to somebody else, it helps me. It's like therapy. That's my own type of therapy, talking to somebody else about it. And also knowing that somebody else is listening that can say, you know what, I'm not the only one to go through this. Because for a long time, I thought I was the only one in the world that was going through that. I didn't know other people went through stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody had, when I was a little girl, if somebody had come to me and said, you know what, this was happening to me, I would have probably felt like I could tell somebody, but I didn't feel like that because I felt like I was the only one it was happening to. So, what do y'all think?
I don't think you should tell anybody how to feel. I honestly believe healing, a person healing journey, that's between them and the Lord, or them until they meet the Lord, or whoever, somebody could come across their path, like you said, to help them overcome. I believe that people go through things and they've overcome. You have people that have overcome or been healed from what they've been through, and they can always help somebody else through that situation. All things work together for the good of them that love God and who are called according to his purpose. I don't think God put you through that to help people. No, absolutely, that's evil. Why would he be evil at 5 and have you be raped? That's not him. That's not his nature or his character, contrary to what you believe. But I do believe that he don't waste anything. And because you went through it, you healed, just like people need healing from physical sickness. People need healing from emotional things. And so there is healing for that type of emotional abuse, because it's not something that was done that hurts outwardly, but it's an inward hurt. And the same principle applies to healing. If you want to talk to us in detail about that and need more help and clarity understanding that, or how to attain that, like what do we do? DM us or privately, or just say in the chat, hey, can y'all talk to me? Go to our Facebook. We have a Facebook, We Be Talking. DM us and we'll be proudly to help you, give you some scriptures.
Absolutely. Yes.
Come out of this, overcome. But I don't think you should use compassion. You got to have compassion with people. So you can't just get over it, regardless of what you think or what you think they should be doing. That's irrelevant. What you should do is love, and love isn't harsh or Jamara, you need to get over, you need to stop crying. No way. I don't think that's something a person should do, especially when they've been traumatized, because a lot of people have had this done to them when they was 5 and they 50 and still haven't had healing from it. So you can't it's just like it just happened to them. So you can't just get over it. But help them overcome. See, if you got knowledge and understanding on how to come out of certain things, or how healing is available to you today, and it's possible to be healed and forgive and be free of it, where it don't, it's a very possible thing, but that's a personal journey.
Absolutely.
I think later, maybe for another topic, we definitely need to talk about on how to really forgive, because a lot of people struggle with that. Being able to forgive, being able, because it's not only women that go through this, but men go through it as well. And if you're molested or whatever at a young age for a man, by a man or by that awakens certain things in a child, that grow up with identity crisis and all different kind of things you can blame it on. But harming a child in such a way at an early age will either set them on one or two paths, I'm gonna be either really, 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 you know, like mean or bitter or whatever the case may be, and can't understand why I'm emotionally toe up, or you know, just can't get right, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna be either like way to the left, you know. It's like you don't know how a person is gonna grieve. You don't know how a person is gonna receive that trauma. So, like she said, you can't tell somebody when enough is enough. You can't tell them that you should be over this by now. You can only be that ear, you know, that they
Yeah.
need.
You
Like
could
I
be
know that.
supportive.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can help them in their process, because you
yeah,
telling them to get
yeah.
over it is not helping their process at all.
Right, right,
But
right.
you could be supportive in their process, either be an ear to listen to them or a shoulder to cry on or whatever. Sometimes you don't need to say nothing. You just need to listen, because something you just don't know what to say. What can you say about something like that?
And
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
why
But
it's
just being
important.
there to listen.
And that's why it's important for us as believers to always have our ear open to Holy Spirit, because we don't know, but He knows all things. He knows the
Absolutely.
individual,
Yeah.
and He know what it is, that one word that can help them out of that process. So I mean, my whole thing, I told y'all a little snippet or something, but I've never been in this particular situation where somebody has taken advantage of me like this. But my whole thing is, I know for a fact healing is available.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can be free. I come to tell you that you can be free from this. It's possible. You know,
Live long, happy lives, good
And
relationships behind.
forgiveness is instrumental in your healing process.
Oh, it's the start.
If you and
We
you have to
definitely
make
need
a
to do a
decision.
show on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to make a decision to decide. And you know, somebody has said one time that forgiveness is not only for the person, like, oh, you're forgiving them or whatever, but forgiveness is really for you, because you're it's like you're taking your power back. You're not allowing that person to control your life, in the sense of whenever you think of them, you get mad, angry, whatever, sad. You know what I'm saying? You let them, you take your power back, and you don't let them affect you so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's important in your healing process to forgive.
My auntie said something once. She said, unforgiveness is like you drinking poison.
Poison. Yeah.
You know, it's like
And
you
expecting the next
poison.
person to die.
Yeah. Instead of, you know, you drinking the poison that is meant to hurt them. Instead, it's not doing anything to them, but it's
hurting
it's
you.
hurting
Yeah,
you.
I was thinking that
Yeah.
same
And they're
thing.
living, they are moving, they're going, but you are hurting and bitter. And not only that, it takes a toll on your physical. Unforgiveness takes a toll on you physically. It becomes a root that causes your physical body to break down and decay. It's a doorway for sickness to come in and wreak havoc in your life. It is so important to forgive and realize, and here's the key to forgiving. It's not the individual. The scripture says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers in darkness and high place, right? It's not the person. We don't war against each other. It's the enemy. And his whole job, he wanted to destroy your life by using that individual. So you know, it make it easier to let that individual, you know, go.
Yeah. Think about it. Think about the situation for what it really is. Think about it in the spiritual way for what it really is, instead of looking at it physically. It makes it easier for you to forgive.
I got one question then, you know, y'all can answer it or whatever. Do you think it's wise, or I know what I think, but do you think it's wise that as you're older, when you've gotten to a place, you go back and talk to that person about it?
I think it'll do some good. It depends on the person, depends on where you're at.
But you definitely got to be healed.
Yes,
you have to be healed before you want to go talk to somebody.
You end up shooting them, killing them if you not.